We are born weak and we need strength. We are born totally unprovided. We need aid. We are born daft. We need wisdom and judgment. Everything we did not have at birth and we need when we are grown can be given to us by education. This is what J.J. Rose said. I welcome you all to this episode of our podcast, the Nexus Podcast. It is on education, where we are talking about the challenging phases of education. I have with me a very vibrant educator. He has gone far and wide in telling and discussing what education is all about. Welcome, Dr. Bayo Zakaria. Thank you as you join us on this episode.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Yes, I'm happy to be with the Nexus. My name is Dr. Bilo Zakaria Adebayo. I'm a lecturer, I'm a teacher, and I'm also a youth advocate.
Let me ask from this perspective, how does it look like, or what is the joy of being a teacher or a lecturer?
You see, the joy of being a teacher is something you can never quantify because it's just like a doctor who have a patient and you rush that patient to the theater and the operation was successful. You cannot quantify the joy the doctor has in his mind, in his face, that yes, I could save a soul. The same joy we feel when you have students in our classroom who are sick of knowledge. At the end of the day, you see them smiling.
You heal them.
They smiling and they were happy that they have been treated.
This is where we are now going to kickstart our discussion. Number one is education itself. They say it's the best legacy. What are the fundamental, or let me say historical, basis for education? What was education all about?
And that question warrants me to smile because those are the good old days. Even though we are not yet born at that time, but we are all students of history. We call it post-independence. Just after independence, education then was characterized by three things. The first thing is citizen building, which include to produce morally upright and responsible citizens. That's the first thing.
Citizens who are morally
upright
and very responsible.
Number two, functional literacy education and self-reliance. I say functional. I didn't say literacy education. Functional one. The idea of being literate and being functional literate and self-reliance. And the third one is called equal access to social mobility, where there is no discrimination between the children of the poor
and the rich.
That's what in fact in 1977, which is the National Policy on Education, which is the NPE, the main target was national development, integration, and self-reliance. The quality baseline then that would maintain that quality was built on number one, teacher competency. Number two, community ownership. Number three, discipline. And the last one called societal respect for learning. The moment they know you are a learner, that you are going to school, they respect you instantly. They differentiate you between those who are doing farming, those who are doing artisans. Once they see that you are a student,
you have that honor.
That society will give that respect. And the first one I said, teacher competency. That's the hallmark of our post-independent education, because the teacher then were on represent competence. They will never find one thing in any area. In fact, then a teacher from grade 2, then you are using grade, grade 2 means like JSS2, could sufficiently teach mathematics, English, and civic education. Sufficiently, we teach mathematics in any school, English language, very sound, and civic education. So you can see that then we got this right, because teacher competency was the hallmark.
Let's take something out of the points you have highlighted, and that is all about you saying functional literacy. I could recall my father used to tell me that during their days, the Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, that I think that was how they used to have it.
Exactly.
And for anyone in Form 3, Form 4, Form 5, something of, let's say, excess classes of this, our own system now, could naturally read, write, and speak very well without any form of, you are making, unpardonable errors. But what has changed? That is like the old pattern.
Exactly.
What has changed to the new pattern of our education, whereby it is so pathetic that even some of our graduates from the universities, from the polytechnics, from the colleges of education, they still find it difficult to communicate their ideas to the general public. What has happened?
That means you are trying to compare the old education versus the new education. You see, our father in Form 3 could read, write very well, but many high students today find it difficult to struggle with writing, with reading. The first thing is that Form 3 teacher then were well skilled. They were skilled and discipline oriented. They are disciplined and they are focused.
Okay, wait. Are you saying one of the reasons why we are having these challenges now is that it stems from the teacher's competency?
Or you see, let me just give you one analogy,
exactly,
which is the best analogy for us to understand the decline in the standard of our education.
Okay.
You cannot blame the fruit that you harvest from an unfertile land. Let me come again. You planted a purple or an orange, and the orange came out in a very bad way. This fruit is not sweet, it's sour, or it's not big enough. You are not blaming the fruit, not the soil. The soil, if the soil is fertile enough, those fruits will come out beautifully. That means if the teacher are strong enough, the teacher is wise enough, teacher is vast enough, definitely the students that will be produced, majority of them will be very fine. So everything centered on teacher competency. So the moment you get it wrong with teacher competencies, there's a problem. In fact, today, nana are often technically exposed. Most of nana are exposed technically, but cognitively they are shallow. Let me come again. Most of them today, you can see all students operating phones, navigating internet successfully, but cognitively they are very shallow, which means that we have more consumer than more creator of knowledge. We have more consumer of knowledge than creators of knowledge, and that's the problem. And this causes, the first thing is called decline in teacher quality and motivation. There is serious decline in teacher quality and motivation. You can see people writing on Facebook that after school hour, teachers go and hustle while students go to farm. That is to tell you that the quality of our teacher today has declined, because even the mere societal perspective is they are looking at them as somebody that is not serious, somebody that is not even competent enough to be in the classroom, because of the fact that maybe he is not well trained. Maybe the way our manner even parade in self community shows that, as you say, you are a teacher, and that tells back on the kind of training he received from his own teacher. Number 2 is that poor supervision and assessment culture. To supervise a teacher, we have a poor culture to that. And if any government stand today and say, let's start teacher supervision or teacher assessment, hey, he has started with something also. He says we're going to be doing exam. This commissioner says he's going to do exam. Come on, writing test. Are we students? Teacher will start perceiving the ministry trying to assess their quality, assess their performances as witch hunting. Whereas in Finland, today in Finland, teachers are assessed quarterly, and it's not with the aim of punishment, it's with the aim of retraining. We want to see where you're lacking so that we can retrain you. So the assessment is actually based to see where they are lacking and send them out for training. Whereas here, by the time you assess teacher, there is a kind of biased mindset that they push into it as if they want to withdraw them for them to withdraw from the system. And the third thing is that family societal value shifts. Education seen as a ladder to wealth, not to wisdom.
Education, please come again.
There is a shift from the family and society. They have seen education as a ladder to wealth, not to wisdom. Whereas no teacher has ever promised any student wealth. No student can say that the teacher or the lecturer told him or her that you'll be rich after you graduate. We only promise them knowledge. But there's a kind of shift and orientation that the moment you are a student, the moment you are in university, then that's your ladder to wealth. And they now resort to say education is calm. And it's a shift, it's a misconception. Example now, in the 1970s, students could write an aptitude letter successfully without any error. Today, I challenge anybody, a graduate, only a few graduates can come to your office and say, I'm looking for a job. after that, just telling him immediately sit down and write an application letter, you will see a lot of error and lack of confidence in that person. You will see unpreparedness in him, and do not blame him. Blame those who taught him in school.
Okay, this is another area that we need to look at. I remember at the time when I was in the school, when I was in secondary school specifically, and we had these core members. They came around, I think, for pep talk, and it was something very lovely and joyful on that very day. But they sang a song that day that was very common during our time, that there is something I want to be. There is something I want to be. So they push it to us that, okay, students sing aloud, and we said, hey, we want to be everybody, lawyer, doctor, engineer, for about 10 or 12 different professions. And the man said, wait, all of you, I've not had one person that will say, I want to be a teacher. And the principal then was like, you see, even our teachers, while they were singing alongside this, they didn't even say, I want to be teacher. So does that mean they were not being proud of their own profession? Then again, the question now is, why is it that almost everyone would want to be a profession that must be taught by a teacher, but would never want to be the teacher? If you ask 10 young boys or young girls now that, what do you want to become? You hear, I want to become an engineer, I want to become a doctor, I want to become a lawyer, I want to become a nurse. Hardly out of 10, you see one or two that will say, I want to become a teacher. And you said these are teachers that they are not competent enough. Should we not talk about the welfareism package being, let me say, being designed for the teachers? Because we cannot have a quality education if we still have, we are lagging behind in the treatment of our teachers. What do you say about that?
This is a very complex question, but we have to trace it back to history.
Okay.
Where do we get it from? What is turning point then? What triggers all these things? The first thing is that, thank God, the Babangida is alive today, and we shall examine some of his own policy that actually caused all this problem for us. Because something SAP, Structural Adjustment Program, which was introduced in 1988 by the Nigerian government under General Babangida regime, with the help of or partnership of IMF, International Monetary Fund, and World Bank. What happened? The goal was to reduce Nigerian economy from crisis, and after falling, they now try to see how they can. The aim is to reduce government spending, remove subsidy. Imagine subsidy has been being discussed since 1988. Exactly. Subsidy, devalue naira, and encourage private enterprises. That's the beginning of SAP. Now, however, why it helps to balance government's finances is, in theory, it causes two problems.
Okay.
These two problems include the devaluation of education and health sector. Until today, we are still crumbling. We are still fighting to get it right, because during that SAP program, they actually reduce the budgets on education and also stop a lot of incentive given to teacher. Salary was reduced drastically. Boarding school was scrapped. Free will was scrapped as well. A lot of things happening in education sectors that crumble the standard of education because the standard of teachers and competition of the teachers was reduced to their minimum in the attempt to leverage. And again, health sector as well also suffered the same thing. In fact, that led to what's called teacher exodus. A lot of teachers then moved to Benin Republic, moved to Abidjan, moved to Cameroon.
So Japa has been in
since 1988 when Babangida introduced the Structural Adjustment Program with the intention of reducing government spending and encourage private sector to come into play. And at that time, meaning that before Babangida, we are getting it right, because teacher salary, teacher emolument, teacher motivation was at the peak. They now remove some of these rights, which enable teacher to be looked down upon because in terms their pay become meager. And this is the reason why teacher who don't even want their students to be a teacher. Even the students don't want to be a teacher because the teacher in their front don't want to be someone they emulate, because the condition of living of that teacher does not encourage them to become one. In fact, these days now, we have seen students trying to pity their hard-working teacher because of the fact that they believe he's struggling with life. You see them coming to class with the supply package, Indomie, pastas, Bonvita, Milo. During class hour, students will do a surprise gift in terms of cosmetics, provisions, and give to the teacher because the teacher is trying his best and is not well felt.
So they are more or less like unsung heroes.
Exactly, because they were like, teacher is teaching us very well, but look at him, he's working, he's still working, he's not having a car, he's there because he's dirty, he's not well felt. You don't see them talking to each other and say, let's surprise this person. So it's something that we felt that definitely they have seen the teacher as somebody suffering. So how can you say you want to become like somebody suffering? So that is why you can see most of the teachers who are in teaching profession today have really regretted to be on that profession because they believe that they are not well paid. Only those who have passion for teaching will always see themselves at the front line, and the passion percentage is lower to those who choose that career because they felt they are unemployed. Because unemployment is also another factor why people choose this teaching profession, believing that it is the only means they can get easily, because school is the fastest means of getting job now, because everywhere you go there are schools around you. So as after NYC, the first thing you see is a school beside your house, not the industry, not the company. So you rather enroll that school as a teacher tentatively, thinking that you get a greener pasture. Now ask me that a student in that kind of class of a teacher who is only trying to teach temporarily and see applying next way, how would that teacher go for conferences, go for seminar, go for training, or go to the library to read more? He's only trying to teach and get the student temporarily while he seek for other jobs. So definitely it is certain that teaching profession are underrated, not because of anything, because of that SAP that eroded the free meal, the free feeding, the free education,
this declining in salary payment,
in fact,
infrastructural support.
It was cut down totally. And that's why today we are still here.
Okay, I think it's also important for us to look into another area that is of importance while we discuss education. In our curriculum development, it is also going to be something that we should hammer on. The 21st century curriculum in this our contemporary society, do you agree with me or with some of the opinions outside that they do not match the expectation of the Western world 21st century curriculum? What I mean is, at a point in our education where we are still trying to leverage what to do with, mobile phones. There are developed countries that they are not even on AI now. They are on something super higher to that. While we are just leveraging to know how to use, Chat GPT. These are things that for the past 15, 20 years ago, some developed countries, they have, moved away or moved into it, and they are even away. So how do we quantify the lackadaisical attitude of our 21st century curriculum in respect to our educational development?
Yeah, thank you for that. You see, when you talk about curriculum, two things are involved. Is the curriculum outdated or the instruction is weak? It's two questions now.
Two questions.
Number one, curriculum outdated,
okay,
or the instruction method is weak. That is the teaching method.
Okay.
The curriculum is on its own.
Yes.
Somebody will implement
the curriculum.
Okay. So is it the person implementing it that is implementing wrongly, or the curriculum itself is weak? The two things occur. It means both of them. Instruction is weak, curriculum is outdated. Now, the curriculum we are using now, I can see that the word is preparing our students for 20th century. 20th century, not 24th century. Because for us, we teach our students typing instead of coding. Most of the laptop in schools are for typing, Microsoft Word, and then PowerPoint. Are they installing coding software there? And typing is of the 20th century.
Not this century again.
Coding is for this 21st century. How many schools today is teaching themselves coding? If not for the new curriculum that is just trying to be on board, and amateur teacher currently in practice can teach coding. Are they even trainable to teach coding? If actually you must train them to teach, are they trainable? Okay, the graduates that are coming on board now, can they also teach coding?
This is deep.
That's one. Number two, learning agric in theory instead of smart farming. If today you are still planting on soil, you are in the 20th century. If you are going to farm, in your school you have a farmland and you are planting on soil, that is 20th century. Smart farming is what we are doing now, where you plant on water, you plant on shafts of rice, you plant on cotton wools, on waste material, not soil.
Are these things achievable?
They are achievable. They are demo. They are demo around us here. Even very close by here, I can tell you some farms. Just go online. I can tell you that farm in Abuja that they are smart farming. In fact, there will be sensors around the farm. They have animal trackers to track their farms, to track their animals when they are missing. We have mapping. We have a lot of things that is now under smart farming now. There is a difference between farming and agriculture. So you see, we are going to farm. You are still planting at your backyard, planting on soil. Students are taught how to be planting on soil. At this century, instead of them teaching them how to plant, we call them soilless farming. Where you plant rice, you plant beans, you plant that. Now you can even plant them round the clock without even looking at the weather condition. All these are called smart farming. All what you do now is for us to say, you are in the rainy season, let's plant this, let's plant that, before this come. In the century that we have now, no farmer look at the weather anymore, because they are way of controlling those variables.
The smart ones.
Yes,
the smart
they are way of controlling those variables without rainfall. Now the next one is that studying bookkeeping without exposing to digital accounting tools. Our students are being taught bookkeeping, accounting, and there is no digital accounting tools on the system they are using. All these pre-sheet accountings, all these things that they can use to do accounting is not there. So definitely, if this is what we are teaching our students today, it means we are teaching 21st century, 20th century, not 21st century exactly. Meanwhile, the cost of this disconnect is massive. Unemployment. You see, all the disconnect between 20th century and 20th century will lead to massive unemployment. We are seeing now. And I'm seeing underemployment because most people that are graduates will not be employable. That is the disconnect between 20th century and 21st century.
So, in a nutshell, being unemployed is one thing.
Exactly. Being underemployed, because underemployment means they are graduates of agriculture, they are graduates of computer, but they cannot fill the space for programming. Yeah, you get computer science, fine, but they are advertised for programming, a programmer. Can you apply? You can't apply because you believe you don't have the requisite knowledge to even function effectively in that seat. So you are underemployed.
Okay, I have a friend of mine. He posted something, and he was in a sad tone that he had a friend also who graduated in one of our universities with first class in mathematics, and that's about 7 years ago. But he found it so disheartening that such a graduate, first class in mathematics, could not even get a job. I went through the comment section because I had another thought initially, but when I went through the comment section, about over 500 people commented. But I picked one man who said, your friend who graduated as a first class student from the university in mathematics, he also graduated as a mathematician in the university, I think maybe first class also. But what he realized was, after about 7 or 8 years of his graduation, he could not see not even one job application that will ask for mathematician. So that means there is no job available. But he felt no, there are some gaps he could fill. Now he changed his orientation from just being a mathematics graduate to, okay, I can learn coding. Since I know mathematics, I can do some other things in software.
Exactly.
So in one way or the other, he now said, if your friend is interested and is sure of his mathematics knowledge, there are some ways he can apply it. Which means, this is where I'm going. Applicability of your knowledge in a particular course to another one should be something that will make us employable now. Because if you are saying, oh, thousands of agricultural science students out there that cannot even know how to, make sure that you have a planting of yam, you be weeding, the harrowing, the watering till you can harvest. Everything has been on theory.
Exactly.
Again, I now saw another comment. The person said, don't mind them. This is our country, sorry. They just go to school without giving us opportunity. That when he was in the university some 5 years ago, his course was created in the department, the faculty, about 30 years ago. And the lecturer who was teaching them the course was one of the first sets of that particular course. And the lecturer said the same curriculum they were using 35 years ago was still the one he was using to teach them. Which means, are we saying that in the last 35 years? Not exactly. So now this is now taking us to, we've had, decadence in our educational quality already. Calling the stakeholders. To me, I think we have the government, we have the who is who in the society, we have the parents. How do we ensure that the government, what are their roles, the parents, what are their roles, and even the beneficiaries of this quality education? Because at the time we were talking about of SAP, before SAP, there were some individuals that they benefited from free meal, better education, and the like. So what are their roles in mitigating this kind of challenge that we are having now?
Before I go to the role of stakeholder, let me briefly comment just on what you just said just now.
Okay.
To comment what you have said. You see, I have two messages to the first class graduates of my country. Two messages, and they must take it to heart. Look, as a teacher, as a lecturer, I'm sending them this message. We know we taught you theory, but the curriculum gave you what we call general studies. It's called GST, GNS, as the case may be. In that aspect, we want to teach you how to apply your degree in other area. Therefore, don't be too brainwashed, don't be too strong-headed, don't be too joyous that you have that first class until you can apply it. One, because the job that you are applying for is the same job a 2-1 graduate will apply for 2, and also a 2-2 graduate will apply for 2, and it can outsmart you if he can apply his own knowledge in that. That's the first thing. Second thing is that you have to proceed to further your study. The first class is just a bedrock. Your master's, your master's in that same degree, your PhD, and keep applying for international offer. Scholarship are there for you to apply for. If not, your first class will become history. That's what. And don't be too overwhelmed. See as a challenge that I have first class already. I must keep going, and I'm still going, and I must be able to apply my knowledge. So that I have first class. I have a friend that has first class, and maybe I think he read pharmacy or something like that. MC, he has first class, and now he's producing insecticide. I'm telling you, and he's making it good, making it fine, because he believes that insecticide is something he has learned in parasitology and paraventure. There's no job. He went to that and he's producing a very good one, eco-friendly one. In fact, it's popular brand. I don't want to say it online. Now, let's now go to stakeholder now. This stakeholder education inclusion, the first one is the parents.
Okay.
The parents. Parents must return being the partners. Parents is partners in progress for school, for their students. They should stop abandoning their work to the school. They are not spectators. They are partners, and they should monitor homework. They should model reading culture. I challenge anybody at home now. How many parents has newspaper in their house again? Newspaper that our father will buy for us. They are reading it, and
reading culture.
And be bent and tell me what is there. But today we have abandoned everything. Most especially for those of us that put our children in private schools. We think that they are being given the best. Don't forget that people in private school too are Nigerians, and they are also teachers who are forced to teach. Therefore, you should be a partner in progress. Number 2 is called community. Community should revive what we call SBMC. In those days, because something SBMC, it means school-based management committee. There is no school, if a school is in your community, whether it's owned by the government or private sector, the community should be involved. Whether it is owned by private sector, you give them land and space, and your children are the one go to that school, then you must approach the school. That because of the school board, compulsively, you must approach them. So the community members will be part of the school management committee, where truancy and other bad activities will be called together. Because as soon as the student is trying to behave badly, he jump the fence. Once you know that you see a father at the back of the school beating him out of the school, or once you know that on the street one of the other will tell you go back to your school, because you won't say this is just 1 o'clock, you are just going on, go back. A common organizer will control back to your class. So therefore, the committee are well involved in the school management. Then the students feel less. Definitely, we have two parents, our teacher and the community. Therefore, they will listen. In fact, in some areas, I will call to them in learning. I learned the community are in charge of disciplining the students. Very close by here. That they form a committee on youth. I don't say it on youth. That every student who misbehave, the school will call the community. This is your children. You know, we have law binding us. You can't beat them anyhow. But he has done this and he has done that. The community will take charge and flog the children to understand ground. As a deterrent that we don't take nothing. In fact, the parents will be available. Because the teacher felt, I must not infringe your rights. I must not beat you to this. I must only punish you. But the community had the right to do that because they believe that they are the owner of that school. So number 3 is what? The private sector. Private sector, they can offer and adopt school programs, digital literacy labs, and scholarship. We should stop building hotels and filling stations. It's too much. Everywhere you go on the street, filling station 1, filling station 2, hotel 1, hotel 2, they should start building digital labs, coding labs. So that when we have all this available around us, school can come there for excursion, they can come there to enroll their students, parents can come as well. When you build laboratories, a private laboratory for secondary school, imagine that, giving access to secondary school people to come in and enroll for the theory aspect in class and do practical on his own with a media pay. I'm telling you, all this investment by private sectors will soften the challenges we have. And lastly, we should remember that the ultimate aim of education is a shared responsibility. Education is too expensive and too important to be left in the hand of government. I come again. Education is too important to be left in the hand of government alone. We should come in, parents, community, private sectors, religious body, to come in to help the government, because we are not helping the government, we are helping ourselves. How could we blame the government for everything that happened in the sector? What have we done as a community leader?
So in a school, a community can dug borehole.
100%. Wow. A community can even support a school with a teacher. That okay, community-based school. This we learned that our students have less performance in mathematics. We have one retired master that have retired. We will pay his salary. We are giving him 1 hour to teach SS3 mathematics.
With the experience
he has in WAEC, the community will pay the salary, and the school will gladly welcome that person to the system. So how can we just leave the entire system progress on the hand of the government? Definitely, we will be repeating the same thing. But the government alone cannot do it.
At this juncture, please, what would you give as your parting word in just a minute? What would be your parting word?
Okay, the quality of education and the future of a nation is the mirror of its soul. Once we do this, we lose our collective future. But discipline, collaboration, and vision, we can rekindle excellence. Therefore, fellow Nigerians, the bedrock of education starts on discipline, starts on vision, and collaboration. Thank you.
It's been a wonderful session with Dr. Adebayo Bello Zakaria. He demystified what education is all about, the challenges faced education, and the way forward he has profiled for us. It's been another episode whereby in Nexus we discuss education as we do normally talk on health, politics, entertainment, and other things that affect human endeavors. Don't forget, click, like, comment, and share. Till next episode, I remain your humble host, Bashir Lukman Olariwaju. Thank you. God bless you.